All right, Christopher Lloyd, celebrating a birthday. Of course, idiot that I am, forgot to write down when his birthday was. So now I got to look it up and buy myself time while I do this. October 22nd. He is going to turn 86 years old this year, which, by the way, go back and watch him in Taxi. The dude looked in his 80s there.
Yeah, well, he was supposed to be like an old hippie that was, drawn out from drugs. So
yeah, I think so.
Perfectly.
All right, so Icky won the YouTube poll game. And so he will get to go first, and then Frank will get to go, and then I will go third. So, Icky, what is your first Christopher Lloyd movie?
Happy to have the first pick because this is one of my all-time favorites. I've got to go Back to the Future for the first one.
Hey-oh! All right, Scott. 1.21 gigawatts. Do you think that movie would have been as good had they stuck with old redheaded what's-his-face?
No.
No, it'd have been too serious. Have you seen the clips of...
Yeah.
It was just too serious.
They're
that man
bad,
took that role real, like it was supposed to be like based on truth or something.
Yeah.
Like somebody made a DeLorean and actually went in time and he was redoing the thing.
All right,
It's
so
more of a science movie than a comedy with him.
Back to the Future's off the board. Frank, what's your first choice?
Well, I'm going to go with Back to the Future too. You got to cover
Oh,
the Back to the
Jesus.
Futures.
And here I was wondering if somebody was going to be able to knock out all three and just truly have a Back to the Future.
Well, see, now you can go part 3 since you got 2 in a row just to clear it off the slate.
I don't know if I want to do that.
Actually, I like 3 better than 2, honestly.
See?
Yeah,
We had this discussion once. When I was a kid, you didn't understand all the like you watch 2 now and you understand like all the stuff going on. I was like, okay, it was really good. When you're young, Back to the Future 2 is kind of boring because it's just like, oh, we're doing the same thing again. And Back to the Future 3 is like, oh shit, we're in the Wild West. Hell yeah.
I think the only...
So when you rewatch them as an adult, you can see how part 2 was actually the better of probably all of them.
Well, see, I think I preferred 2 just because it was in the future, and now that we're in like that time frame,
Well, yeah.
you can kind of take a look back and like I still remember remember the scene where he's playing the video game and the kids are like, "What are you doing? You use your hands?"
Mm-hmm. But it see, like Back to the Future.
Wasn't that
2
Elijah
was
Wood,
like,
by the way?
It was. It is. Back to the Future 2 is kind of like Empire Strikes Back when I was a kid. Like I would only watch the first half of the movie because the second half always seemed boring to me.
Yeah. By the way, I do have to go Who Framed Roger Rabbit, number 1.
Good call.
For my... and as you can tell, clearly I picked the poster that is not in English.
Donde está
This
el
is the
Rayo
problem.
Raboto?
Okay, so look, this is the problem I run into is because I generally go to IMDb for a lot of the posters because, it's generally a trustworthy source. But to get one that's actually sized properly can be a pain. Because if I download one that's, too small and then you have to blow it up, it's just going to be like this pixelated mess. But we have una película de Robert Zemeckis up here. ¿Quién engañó a Roger Rabbit?
The Disney adjacent movie.
There you go. All right, so that's number 1. And I'm actually really, really torn here between...
Natalie Imbruglia?
Torn. You are correct. I just watched this movie actually with my kid over the weekend. I got to go Clue.
Nice.
I got to go Clue, man. I mean, there's a couple options that I'm hoping at least one of them gets back to me, but I'm going Clue. So, Frank, what is your second choice?
I'm going with Addams Family.
See, that was one of my other ones.
Him as Uncle Fester is fantastic. And that movie's great. I saw it in theaters when I was a kid. Fantastic.
And we've actually, so my kid and I watched Clue over the weekend, and my wife and my kid, let's see, look, again, I picked something. This is not the English version of the poster. Jesus.
Sin first level.
All right. Icky, you get to go back to back here. What are your second and third choices on your Christopher Lloyd movie draft?
All right, so my second choice is going to be One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Ooh, good pick. I was wondering if somebody was going to pick that first.
Well, I had to take it. Would have been if someone took Back to the Future from me, but I adore that movie, and it was filmed just up the street from where I'm sitting right now.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, and your third choice?
Going rogue on this one. Do voiceovers account?
I think so because I do even have this.
That's my pick.
That is your pick?
Treasure of the Lost Lamp. I loved this movie as a kid. He was great as Murloc. That's my third one.
Okay, yeah, because I did grab a couple of these that are where he is an actual just a voice, and yeah, it counts. I think that's always going to count, whatever we do. All right, cool. So there's Icky's 3 choices. Frank, what's your third choice?
I'm hoping you don't have this movie poster, but you probably do. But I'm going with, as a kid, for whatever reason.
Wait. Hold on. Because I was literally on the phone with my mom while I was doing this, and I said, I'm willing to bet this is the movie Frank is going to pick, hoping that I don't have it.
Better be what it better be what it is. I'm going to be upset if you don't get. Yes!
Is that it?
That's it. Suburban friggin' Commando, baby.
Honest to God, Mom, if you're watching this, remember that from the phone conversation. Because I'm literally just sitting on the phone with my mom. I'm downloading these pictures, and I'm going through all the Christopher Lloyd movies. And I told her, I go, Frank really gets off on picking movies that he hopes I don't have the movie poster for. And I go, and I guarantee he's gonna hope that I don't have this one, but I bet he's willing to pick it.
Dude, this movie, it's so stupid, but it's still... I watched it a couple years ago when I got it from Amazon. It's still funny. And him with the whole, I was frozen today line in the movie's just great.
All right. Well, we do have some honorable mentions here. So actually, speaking of just being the voice, this was another one that I had for him, which was Anastasia. He is in that. Another movie that he's very well known for, Angels in the Outfield.
Angels in the Outfield. Yep, the Angel.
Another baseball movie that he's in. Remember, I think he plays one of the reporters that actually breaks the story. 8 Men Out. What else is worthy? Oh, here you go. This was basically kind of softcore porn / horror movie, Piranha 3D. What's his face? Jerry O'Connell gets his.
I remember him being in that too.
He gets his pee bit off. It's like floating in the water.
No way to go.
And it's in 3D.
Weird movie.
Here's a question. I don't know if this is really worthy of a honorable mention, but have you guys ever heard of this one? Going South?
No,
I hadn't either, but
looks wild.
I was certainly intrigued by it. Of course, we could also
a lot of movies that I'd never heard of before on his list.
And of course, we could also go Addams Family Values, which is also a fantastic movie.
Too. Yeah, I still like that one.
Dude,
it's a little darker, but I enjoy it.
First boyhood crushes, man. Christina Ricci. Smoking.
I just love the speech she gives at the camp.
Yeah,
to the kids. That's great.
What are some other movies that he is in here? See, and here's where I'm torn. So the reason I'm not picking this movie is because he has a fairly small part in it. But remember, he is in Mr. Mom.
Mm-hmm. You're not going with The Search for Spock? Was it Cleon?
That's on my list too. Yeah.
I mean, that one right there?
Ooh,
I am not. Now, this is a shout out to Big Lan, as this is one of his favorite movies. The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai.
That is such a trippy movie.
Never heard of that before in my life.
And also, don't forget.
Just go in not knowing anything and just watch it.
He plays the hobo in Dennis the Menace.
Eating the beans.
But my choice...
Camp Nowhere?
No.
Oh.
The Dream Team.
The Dream Team.
If you've never seen this movie, it is fantastic. I mean, it's like Michael Keaton, Christopher Lloyd, Peter Boyle, Stephen Furst, like all these guys. I can't remember exactly. They're in some sort of an institution and they basically break out. And they're roaming the city.
Camel toe.
Huh?
He has a giant camel toe.
Oh, gee. You noticed the weirdest shit, dude. My God, Frank.
Sorry.
Good Lord, man. All right, so here's the 3 for everybody. Icky's got Back to the Future, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and then DuckTales, the movie Treasure of the Lost Lamp. Frank has Back to the Future 2, Addams Family, and Suburban Commando, while I have Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Clue, and The Dream Team.